I'm Sabrina Sloan, and this is Feelin' Fine and Bend. It's all about the simplest ways to feel good. You want to feel good, right? Well, of course you do. So today, I'm going to take you in the kitchen, we're going to make a bone broth, and we're going to go out to the farmer's market and get some more supplies. All things to create more vitality in your life. Thanks for watching. Let's go get started. Hi, welcome to my kitchen. So today we're making bone broth. It's one of the simplest, easy things you can do for your health and your family's health. People have been making bone broth since the dawn of time, since we started killing animals, right? Using every bit of it. Well, the bones are full of nutrition, and it's a shame to waste. There's tons of protein, obviously. There's minerals you're getting out of the bones. There's the glycine, which is extremely good for detoxing. And the gelatin, too. You know, they make all kinds of groovy things out of gelatin, but this is your purest form of health right here. And it can be the basis for braising, could be the basis for stocks. It's the base for just a simple sipping broth, which is what I use it for. I love this. So what we do is we get the oven going. Want it to be real nice and hot, so I just put it up at about 375. Now let's go with 400 degrees. Why not? Oops. Get my greasy fingers up there. Then we're going to cover it with some olive oil. And you want to make sure that, you know, you're covering. So just kind of turn them around and get them all a little bit coated. And then you're going to put this really great tomato paste on it. And my favorite tomato paste is the kind that you squirt. So you just want to coat your bones with the tomato paste. Doesn't have to be perfect. Just gonna make it a little bit richer. Now for some people who have food sensitivities, you don't have to do this part, because tomatoes are a nightshade and some people have a problem with the nightshades, and I understand. I did for a while too. They used to give me a major headache. But since I have cleaned out my system and cleaned out my gut, it's amazing. I can actually eat dairy now. It's a crazy concept after going like 15 years of not being able to eat it. And who knew that all it took was just taking probiotics and taking care of yourself. And that's what the show is all about. Now we're going to pop it in the oven for about 30 minutes. Leave that there, set the timer. Bone broth is one of the simplest things you'll ever make. You just need a few things. Some celery, some onions, some carrots, all organic if you can get it. And you need a really big knife to chop it all up. You just want to get rid of the skins. You really don't need any of this. And you don't have to chop it up special either, because you're not going to eat it. I've already washed these up, so they're good to go. I'm sure you could probably keep the ends, but I like to cut the ends off. That's just me. This is all gonna go in the pot. It's one of the coolest things I've ever purchased. Actually, my husband bought this. Okay, so we got about 30 minutes to spare. We're gonna play with the dogs. You're gonna wanna fill it up with water. And you wanna fill it all the way up and about 3 inches over your bones. Okay, just a little bit over the bones. Get it started on high heat. You're going to want to put a few other ingredients in. Now these we'll put in the last, it needs to get started for about 3 hours on its own. And we'll put parsley, thyme, the vegetables, and the garlic in then. But right now what we're going to do is put in some apple cider vinegar. Now you can use whatever brand. I prefer a nice raw unfiltered with the mother because it's always better with mom. Mwah. And some bay leaves. Now the apple cider vinegar, you don't need much. I'm putting in about 1/4 of a cup. It helps break down the tendons, helps release all of that deliciousness from the bones themselves. And a couple of bay leaves. I'm putting in 4 because they're tiny. And you just kind of swish it around a little bit. And we're going to leave it alone and let it get up to its magic all by itself. Keep it up pretty high because I want it to boil for about 3 hours. And then I'm going to come back and put the veggies in and we're going to let it boil for another 24 hours and let it work its magic all on its own. But right now, we're going to go out and I need some more supplies, some more greens and some more veggies. So we're going to go to the farmer's market, which here in Central Oregon is probably one of the greatest things that we have. Hey, we're here at the farmer's market. Let's look around and see what kind of good stuff we can get. Greens. This is exactly what you want in a carrot. Perfect for bone broth. Here we are at Esotica with Ethan, and Ethan has these beautiful handcrafted artisan pastas. So Ethan, are you the one making these pastas?
Friends of mine make it in Silverton, Oregon.
All right, so tell us a little bit about the product.
They started a pasta company about 2 years ago, and yeah, they grow most of the veggies and the herbs that go into it, and they get their grains from Bob's Red Mill. So it's quality stuff.
It looks beautiful. It smells lovely too. If you could have smell-o-vision right here, you'd know that this is some good pasta. All right, on to a more personal question. How long did it take you to grow this facial hair?
I've had facial hair for a long time. So I get rid of the mustache every year, and then just grow back. So
that's not long at all. We're at Brandywine Fishery with Richard and Cheryl, and they have brought out fish in this landlocked community here. Thank you very much.
You're quite welcome.
Yeah, and so tell us about some of the fish that you brought today.
This is fresh Chinook salmon, just caught yesterday morning.
Yesterday.
And this is albacore tuna, which was also caught yesterday. And we offer basically ground salmon, and then this usually goes to people that are cooking soups.
Yes. We just did a segment earlier today on bone broth, and something like this, fish heads, you can make a fish broth with these parts.
Correct.
No need for any of it to go to waste.
Right.
I think that's awesome. Next time I make a fish broth, I'm coming to you.
There you go.
And are you here every week?
Mm-hmm. Awesome. And we never know what we're bringing. Sometimes we can bring over, we always bring over the salmon. That's constant. But the halibut and the lean cod, those are a bonus if we bring them over, and they go very quick.
Bet. We'd have to get here right at 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time. We're going to keep on moving on and letting everybody know about all the goodness here at the farmer's market. The next time I'm making a bone broth, a fish bone broth, I'm going to come for your fish heads.
I'll be here.
We are at J5 Beekeeping with Hayden and Shanna. How you guys?
Hi.
And look at all this beautiful honey they have brought. And
Beeswax.
beeswax. So this is really handy for anyone who makes their own candles.
Candles.
And makes their own soaps, makes their own lip
Salves.
products,
Yes.
salves, all kinds of medicines and things that you can use. We have a customer here. You here to get some honey?
Can I smell this?
Yes, absolutely.
See what it smells like.
Like a taste of
What's it smell like?
It smells wonderful.
Yeah,
Honeycomb.
yeah, pure. I mean, that's the real deal right there. Are people responding to your honey? Because we all know that buying honey within your region is extremely helpful for people with allergies and things like that. Are people responding?
A lot of people look for local honey for that reason, and it depends on the allergen. So depending on what is bothering you, if the bee is collecting that pollen, nectar from the plant that is irritating your sinuses, then it would be very beneficial. And we've seen some people come back and say, oh, it's been great. And, you know, so it doesn't help everyone, but it can be very beneficial for some.
This is where I get my greens every week, Fields Farms, and it's not just Oregon, it's Bend. You guys are right over on Pettigrew, right? And some of the best greens from Field Farm, always guaranteed. These are what I use to wrap my sandwiches in, whether it's breakfast sandwich, lunch sandwich, or dinner, anything like that. You parboil them, and then they're just perfect for a wrap, replacement of tortilla. They're collard greens. Normally in the South, they cook these things to death, to where they turn gray and they're like tasteless. But I find the best way is just to lightly steam them, and they're good to go. So as far as your farm goes, I know that you make great efforts to be as organic as possible. What kind of things do you do if you have bugs?
For collard greens, we do nothing. We don't even use organic sprays.
No?
So we amend our soil. We recycle waste products from around town, a lot of hops, breweries. We have huge compost piles. So we focus on health of the soil.
You're so good to me.
And we just plant large plantings of them, so we can just go out and pick the nice looking leaves.
Yep, and they're always nice looking. Beautiful. Not only do they have collard greens, but they have every kind of kale that you can imagine. And as everybody knows, I'm kind of a geek for kale. I eat it breakfast, lunch, and dinner, all the different kinds. And this is one of my favorites right here. It's the purple kale, also known as the Russian kale, right? Yeah. What's your most popular kale?
The green curly kale.
The green curly kale. Yeah. And this is another one of my favorites, and I always say it wrong. How do you say it?
Well, that's a kale that goes by more names than anything else.
Isn't it true?
Lacinato, Dino, Nero di Toscana, etc.
Yeah, Italian. Black kale, yeah. This is another favorite as well. So when you're looking for greens, Fields Farm is where you shop. Welcome back. This is day 2. Your broth has been simmering for 24 hours or more in our case, which is never bad. Some pots in certain kitchens sit on for 48 hours or more. It's all a matter of taste and how much goodness you want to pull out. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take out the solids and we're going to get ready to enjoy. Okay, time to get it ready for straining. Take out your herb bundle, which we use thyme and parsley. You can see that it's been pretty much used up, tied together with some kitchen string. And take out the big pieces. You don't want anything to tear apart your little strainer, so get the big pieces. So bone broth is extremely popular in the chronic illness crowd, as well as those that are really trying to just keep themselves well. In fact, it is so popular that there is a bone broth bar in Portland. Can you believe that? I think we're going to have to do a field trip. And then you just pour it in there. And when you pour it in, you want to make sure this has been sitting cooling for an hour or so, because you don't want to scald yourself. And you don't want to melt your pot. or your bucket or anything like that. So I'm going to pour this in, and after I'm done, you let it really cool. And upon the cooling, the fat will rise. And the fat is something I like to scrape off. Some fat will remain, but the really greasy stuff I like to take off. You just let it sit and continue to drain, and then you're going to stick it in your refrigerator and let it cool. And as you let it cool, you'll see this nice fat that will rise to the top. And that's the portion that you just skim off later. I save it and then slice off pieces and give it to the dogs in their food. So it adds extra nutrition to the dogs. You don't want to waste anything, and that's the best part about this broth. Okay, now we're going to stick it in the fridge, and the cool thing is the fat is already separating. Ooh, fat. And you know, everybody knows that fat is flavor, but for me in bone broth, I only like to leave a little bit of fat because, I don't know, it's just one of those things. And then just pop it in the microwave. Doesn't take long because it melts and you don't want it too hot. I like mine tepid so I can guzzle it. Oh my gosh, it's perfect. In the winter, you want it warmer. But right now, in the summertime, cheers. You want some? Here you go, your bone broth. It's not only good for sipping, it's great for soups. It's great for a little bit of liquid in your pasta. It's good for thinning out any kind of sauce that you need. This is beef bone broth, but you can also make chicken bone broth. You can make fish bone broth. Ask any chef. Bone broth is a key to a successful restaurant, but it's also key to your incredible health too. So here you go. Here's to bone broth. See you next time on Feelin' Fine in Bend. The greatest thing ever.